of yours before the president tweeted, and you mentioned that 13 or 14 ambassadorial nominations have gone up. You might get on the phone and call the ambassador to South Africa if there was one, but there isn't.
Matt, as you well know, we are working very hard to get our team on the field. But nominations are, may I finish? Nominations are announced by the White House. The Secretary has done a terrific job of getting more people in place. It doesn't happen overnight. We also need the cooperation of the U.S. Senate to get our folks through, and they have pledged that they would get them through expeditiously.
That's fine, but does the embassy think that this is a serious problem?
I can tell you that our embassy has had meetings with the South African government. Anything additional beyond that, I just don't have it.
Can you
Hi.
say when the president and the secretary had the discussion?
I would say sometime in the last day or so.
In the last day, meaning in the last 24 hours?
The last day or so. That's all I'm aware of.
And I have a follow-up on
Go
this,
ahead.
So apparently the U.S. chargé was called into, was summoned by the South Africans today.
I know that they met today. I don't have a readout of that meeting, but they did meet today.
Was that at the request of the South Africans?
I don't know who requested it, but I can confirm that they did meet today.
So does the U.S. believe that, from what you've seen, and I believe that there's been meetings between the two sides on this, believe that what's going on, that the South African land policy would be similar to that of the land grabs that we saw in Zimbabwe?
Well, I think the situation between South Africa and also Zimbabwe are quite different. It may be easy for some to try to draw a comparison, but there are very big differences. In Zimbabwe, we saw the government there squash civil society, shut down the media from doing their jobs and reporting, and destroyed an independent judiciary, and we have not seen that happen in South Africa. So I think they're different situations altogether.
So given that, according to the State Department's own reporting that Matt mentioned, discrimination and actions against blacks in South Africa is a far, far bigger problem than this. What is the Secretary's view on what is happening right now, and what is he going to do after the?
I can just tell you that it was discussed with the president, and he will focus on this issue, and I'll leave it at that.
What does focus on it mean?
Well, he will take a look at it, just as he had discussed with the president. Hey, Francesca.
An option you will look at?
You know we would never forecast that, but that is such a hypical. That is a hypothetical. No, that's a hypothetical, and I'm not going to comment on it.
Is the department aware of, is the embassy aware of, concerned that there are land seizures going on without any compensation?
You know, I can just tell you this is obviously an issue, a debate that's been going on for quite some time. We encourage an expropriation of land without compensation would risk sending South Africa down the wrong path. We encourage a peaceful and transparent public debate about this important issue that seems to be happening in South Africa right now. If policies are poorly implemented, there are potentially detrimental political, socioeconomic, and other
So you're aware
issues.
of a plan being debated by the South African government that would seize white-owned farms or land without any compensation?
Matt, I'm just saying that expropriation of land without compensation would not be a good thing. It would send them down the wrong
Is there
path.
any reason to be concerned about that?
Matt, that's just what I'm telling you right now, okay? Thank you.
Did the Secretary...
Last one, then we're going to move on. I don't have anything further for you on this.
Did the Secretary correct some of the reporting and maybe views that the President holds on this issue? Did he explain to the President what actually is happening?
Michelle, you know we never get into the private conversations between the Secretary and the President on any issue, for that matter. Okay? Hi, Lori.
Hi. President Erdogan's spokesman complained yesterday about U.S. procedures against Help Bank. Could you comment on his remarks and explain the situation regarding that bank?
Yeah, Lori, I'm sorry, I have not seen those remarks just yet. I can look into it and see if I can find something for you. I just have personally not seen those.
Well, he said, I can tell you, quote, he says unacceptable and certain baseless and false allegations were made against the bank. You don't.
I think that would fall under Department of Justice and also Treasury as well. But again, I'm hesitant to comment on anything that I haven't seen myself, but I appreciate your work to try to synthesize it for me.
Okay, another question.
Okay.
Then. Russia has announced that it will move up the scheduled delivery of the S-400 air defense missile to Turkey from 2020, which it was originally scheduled
Well, that was a snippet of the U.S. State Department's briefing tonight on U.S. President Donald Trump's earlier controversial tweet on the South African land policy. But time to move on to some other news on the continent.
While an opposition Ugandan lawmaker charged with treason over his alleged role in the stoning of President Yoweri Museveni's convoy this month has been remanded in custody.
The detention of Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobi Wine, along with 4 other politicians critical of President Museveni, sparked 2 days of anti-government protests in the capital Kampala and other parts of the country this week.
Kyagulanyi was charged with treason today over his alleged role in the stoning of President Yoweri Museveni's convoy this month. A civilian magistrate ordered Robert Kyagulanyi, who is also known as Bobi Wine, remanded in custody until August 30th and granted him access to private doctors, citing what he termed the health of the accused.
It is the considered opinion of this court that the accused person, particularly A33 and others in similar condition, are allowed to access their private doctors at any time, as and when. And those who cannot afford the private doctors are hereby direct the prison's authorities to take them to the necessary facilities to ensure that their health is guaranteed. I so order.
Bobi Wine, who